This is Apple's new Journal app, which is available right now on your iPhone if you update to iOS 17.2. This is a very cool app and not your typical journaling app. I've been journaling daily for a few years now, and it's made a big difference in my life in terms of having more self-awareness and feeling more grateful for the things that are happening in my life. However, journaling can be a difficult habit to start and a difficult habit to continue. And Apple designed the journaling app to solve that problem. So after you update to iOS 17.2, the Journal app sits on your home screen on one of them, and you can open it right this. Now it'll show empty for you, and it'll give you some prompts the first time you open it. The first thing you got to do is give it some permission, so just walk through those screens, and then you'll see this. If I want to create a new entry, I create the plus button right here, and you see at the top it says new entry. And if I tap that, I can do a regular old journal entry. Wow, I managed to spell that correctly the first time. There you go. No second take here, everybody. But this is not that exciting, right? I could add a location where I am right now. I could add a voice memo. I could add some photos from my photo library. That's really basic journaling stuff, right? There are lots of apps that can do this. And I can also change the date of entry. If I click at the top at the ellipsis, then I can say the entry date is a custom date. So it could be, for example, yesterday, right? Nothing special going on here. The real magic is in the suggestions. So if you give the Journal app permission to suggest things for you, that's where all the magic happens. So I highly recommend doing that. Privacy is not a problem. This is all happening on your iPhone. All the information that's being processed for suggestions are end-to-end encrypted. Apple can't see it. They're not selling your data. I highly recommend doing this. Now, what do I mean by suggestions? So if I click the plus button right here, you see how it says select a moment and write. So actually what Journal is doing here is it's seeing, oh, you went on a walk recently. Do you want to journal about how you felt during your walk? Oh, you did a workout at this particular gym. Do you want to journal about what happened there, like how your workout was? And there's recommended things to journal about, but I can also tap on recent. This is just a chronological view of events that my iPhone thinks happened in my life that I could journal about. So for example, I can click on or tap on this one right here at the bottom left, evening visit to a church, which is actually where I had a Toastmasters meeting. I'm a member of Toastmasters, an international public speaking club. We have a local chapter, and I gave a speech there this past Wednesday. And so when I tap that suggestion, now I can tap start writing. And now I am journaling about what happened here. So I can say, I gave a speech about how we can never really be sure whether events in our lives are good or bad. And this is pretty fun. This time you see I have a lot of typos, which I could fix. I can write about how I felt about this speech. I can say, well, the audience really seemed to resonate with my message, and I could even include some photos. So what I can do in this entry over here is I can tap my photos library and insert this particular photo that I took at the event of me accepting an award for having the best speech of the evening. I can backdate this also. So now if I tap the ellipsis at the top, I can say, well, what should the date for this entry be? Either today's date or, quote, the moment date, which is the moment when this event happened, or the moment when one of the photos that I included was taken. Someone sent me the photo on a messaging app, so that date's not correct, but the moment date is the correct one. So now it's backdated to Wednesday, which is when this event happened. So if I tap done, now in my journal, this shows up on Wednesday, December 13th, and I can tap into it, and of course I can go ahead and edit that. I can also bookmark this particular entry if I find that is particularly important, and then you can go to the little filter icon over here, and I can see all my bookmarked entries. I can also see all my entries, only the ones that have photos, or only the ones that have places attached, or all entries. You can journal about workouts that you did, about walks that you went on, like places that you had lunch with people. It will actually suggest, it will say, hey, it looks like you had lunch with someone. Would you like to write down some sentences about how lunch with this person was, about podcasts you listen to, all kinds of things. And that's all based on the so-called Suggestions API is what it's called. So Apple created a way for developers of other apps to allow these suggestions to go to your Journal app, so that things you do in other apps, for example, music you listen to in Spotify, is at some point probably going to be one of the things that you could journal about, right? I absolutely love what Apple is doing with the Journal app. There's some big drawbacks right now. It's only available on your iPhone. It's not yet available on the iPad or on the Mac. I do most of my journaling in long-form journaling in an app called Day One. That's what I've done so far for, years now. And I do that on the Mac or on my iPad because it's much easier to type and to really get, what I want down onto the digital paper, right? Typing on your iPhone is just not a great experience. But that's not what the Journal app is designed to do. It's not really designed for long-form journaling. It's designed to help you journal if that's not something that you've been doing very often. So for that use case, I think it is absolutely fantastic. And one of the amazing things about the Journal app is that this Suggestions API is also available for third-party apps like Day One. So I can actually go into my journaling app, Day One, and use these suggestions like, hey, would you like to journal about this workout that you did? I think that's absolutely fantastic. Now, it's a bit of a rudimentary app. If we take a look at the app, for example, there's no search bar, so you cannot search. So that's really unfortunate. You also, if you go into an event, I can tap the photo and look at the photo and look at the map, but if I tap this, nothing happens. This doesn't open the Maps app, and the photo doesn't open the Photos app, and if I have more photos than just this one from the event, it'd be nice to quickly be able to browse those right here. But as always with Apple apps, I'm sure this one will get better over time. Apple Notes has gotten so much better over time. Apple Reminders has gotten so much better over time. And I'm sure Apple Journal will also get so much better over time. However, you should still check it out right now. And especially if you've been wanting to develop the habit of journaling, because it's going to make you a better person, right? A more self-aware person, because it's going to make you feel more grateful, because it's going to help you process things that are happening in your life. Check out the Journal app. It's a really low-key way of journaling. You can set up a journaling schedule. You can have it remind you to journal at certain times, right? The suggestions are going to help you figure out what to write about. It's absolutely one of the best habits that I can recommend, including for being more productive, because it will help you be more intentional about how you spend your time. So go check out the Journal app. Let me know what you think about it. Have a great day. Ciao.